So, it turns out that the best performances of Tom Holland's career and Zendaya's career are not in some would-be modernized epic that everyone is fighting about. They are in Spider-Man: Brand New Day. But I wouldn't know anything about that. All right, so look, I am fresh out of the movie theater, just got home, got my thoughts together, went and saw the new Spider-Man movie. And listen, I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. This one is free of ideology of any kind, culture war of any kind. No, you had to see what it was going for here. Just full of Tom Holland doing his best performance as Spider-Man this far in his career, and Zendaya doing, honestly, the best performance I've ever seen her do regardless of film. I told my son that in the middle of watching it. This movie was fun, and I'm going to keep it spoiler-free. I will warn you if any spoilers are coming, but let's just talk about the movie. Yeah, I got popcorn to go. And a refill. Yeah, you always got to get the refills to go. But listen, so this movie was pure fun. And you're hearing a lot of regurgitated, oh, well, it's a more mature Spider-Man. It's a more mature Spider-Man. And I think that comes from the themes of the movie and him growing up and having to change. All right, now it's not all roses. There's a few things, but it's about change and about him having to grow and mature. So that's where a lot of people are pulling that out, because look, at some point we had to leave the high school goofy Peter Parker behind. He had to grow up a little bit, and that's being reflected in the changes he's going through with his powers. So maybe now we're not going to get a somewhat underpowered Spider-Man that we've had before into this point. Now we're going to get full power Spider-Man the way he should be, which is something that I liked. And I honestly think this is either the second or third best Spider-Man movie of all time, behind Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2. That one is just the pinnacle to me. But No Way Home and this, just great. I enjoyed everything pretty much about it. This Spider-Man is literally going through changes. He is trying to cope with living without his friends, living without the love of his life, and with nobody knowing him, because that's the deal he made to protect everyone. But it's hurting him. It's killing him inside in a lot of ways. And if I had to knock on one thing, it's that this film in some ways continues this sort of love affair that Hollywood and this generation has had for like the last 10 years of romanticizing trauma and everything being about grief and trauma. But it doesn't do it in a heavy-handed way. It does it in a realistic way. The consequences of growing up, of taking on more responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility, and now he's learning what that really means. And I've heard people say that this is too long. It's 2.5 hours. I never felt like it was too long at any point. Yes, there are a couple of characters that don't really serve any purpose, and I'll get to them more in the spoiler part of this. But you really feel there is more emotion in one scene that is believed in any one scene in this movie from Tom Holland and Zendaya that is believable than there is in the whole Odyssey put together. And it's not particularly close. Like, people keep saying the Odyssey is the greatest movie ever made. It's not even the greatest movie of this year. It's at least behind this movie and Project Hail Mary. At the very, very least, it is behind those two. And so their performance is there. It's like that was like the opening act, and they were learning how to act and then getting back to their real characters over here, because I have never been a big fan of Zendaya. She's overexposed. She just seems like she has one facial expression all the time. She lit it up in this. She did well. I enjoyed her. I must have mentioned that to my son several times because I was blown away because I'm not a fan. She emoted. She had lines. She didn't just make one face. I dug it. I believed it all. Same thing with Tom Holland. You see this like tearing him apart. You see the longing and the carrying the weight of the responsibility of his choices. And that is all wrapped up with a good story. New characters introduced into this that are going to play a much bigger part overall. We'll talk about that in the spoiler section. But some of the best action sequences that I've seen. I mean, they all looked real. It's like, hey, we figured out how to do CGI again. I know they mixed in practical effects and like a robot for some of the swinging too, but it was like, hey, man, we learned how to do this again. Now, this is Sony making this and not Disney, so maybe that's part of it, but the CGI looked better. Swinging through Spider-Man, the shout-outs to... It makes me want to go pull out my Spider-Man comic books and go back and look for the ones that I have because there's moments, there's action sequences, there's like entire covers of the comics that are being repeated in paid homage to in shots, and I just geeked out over it. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. And no, I'm not like I like Spider-Man, but he is not up with me. Like, he's not like my favorite of all time. Superman is my unquestioned favorite. Thor, Batman, and then you would probably get to Spider-Man after that, and Wolverine would be up there. So it's not like, oh man, he's just a huge Spider-Man fan. That's not it. This movie's just that good. It's that entertaining. It is that much fun. And the action in this alone, I'm telling you, the action photography looked good. You felt like you were swinging with Spider-Man. It didn't feel like it was on a green screen or have a volume screen. Some of this trash CGI that we're seeing, it didn't feel like that. It felt real, tactile, tangible, like you were really there. You were really there. And that is such a huge thing that brings you into the immersion of a film. And I mean, I never once, like, I didn't even want, I had too much soda and I need to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to go. I was enjoying every second. I didn't want to miss anything. So I never felt like it was slow. There's a couple of characters that could be cut out. One of them is he's talking to a detective, like, I don't even remember her name. She's so inconsequential, but they keep kind of shoving her and her kids into this movie, and she doesn't need to be there. Like, you could take her out of this and it would not matter at all. There's one other character that we'll talk about too when we get to the spoilers a little bit, that is the same way, but this character didn't need to be there. She served no purpose. You could have gave me J. Jonah Jameson back. That would have been better, probably. So like all that was left behind. So there was a couple of things like that that could have been. She just served no purpose. It was like, okay, her again. Why does he keep talking to her? There's no point. But other than that, I just have no complaints. I have none. I have a couple more in the spoilers, which we'll get to that in just a second. But for you guys, I'm just going to tell you, if you don't want any spoilers right now, I'm going to give you my score. And I think this is one that has room to go a little higher if you watch it again. Believe it or not, I don't think any way it would go lower. Out of the theater, I'm going to give this thing an 8.5 or a 9. I mean, the only movie I think I've ever given, like, I hate giving 10s out of 10s ever. I think I gave Project Hail Mary like a 9.5 or a 9.75 because there's no such thing as perfect overall. To me, there's a few that are in the pantheon of perfect. Maybe I'll do a video on that, but it's very rare. I don't think there's anything as perfect as perfect. But I think this is a solid 8.5 or 9. The complaints just tick it down just a hair. You're just picking nits. Really, though, This movie is so well done. The journey, discovery, and he does feel more grown up, and he's going through the change, like a change. Then hopefully we get more of the Spider-Man, the strong Spider-Man we need. But it feels real. It feels organic. It feels like a real transition. It doesn't feel like forced grief therapy or anything else. It feels earned. It feels lived in. It feels real. It feels like you're dropped into the middle of this comic, having read all of the others leading up to that. And I just absolutely loved it. I just absolutely loved it. So if you don't want any spoilers, there you go. Enjoy the action. The story is on point. The acting is on point. The best I have seen from Tom Holland and Zendaya. I think this is Holland's 7th outing now overall as Spider-Man, and he has honed it in. Now, this was his best performance of his career. I am convinced of it. And I think it is definitely worth seeing. Swing your ass to the theater and go and see Spider-Man. 8.5, 9, with room to bump up. It is that good. Now, here come the spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, don't get mad at me that you kept listening. But make sure you like and subscribe and hype up the video and help out the channel and all that. Because I don't do that many reviews, but the big movies that I'm going to see, I like doing them. So if you do, help me out and let me know. Now for the spoilers. Yelena Pugh, Florence Pugh, in this movie doesn't need to be in this movie. They're trying to force her down your throat, and that alone made me dock a half a point, because she is like the most forced character in all of Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like. And I don't buy it. And they made sure that she blurted out, I'm part of the new Avengers. And she blurted out that she's the new Black Widow. And all this, just in your face, in your face, in your face. And there's a comedic funny moment in there where she's naked in a pool, like a bathhouse. And she makes Tom Holland undress, but he keeps his underwear on and his mask on. And, it's kind of like a funny thing. But other than that, she doesn't need to be in there. Because that just feels so forced in. I don't like it. She doesn't need to be there. She doesn't further the story in any way. The same thing with the detective. So you could cut those two out and maybe shave 10 minutes off this movie and nothing would change. So if anything, it takes away 10 minutes that I can't spend with Tom Holland and Zendaya in this movie. And I never thought I would say that. So you got to keep that in mind. And then you have Jon Bernthal's Punisher in here. I thought he did a really good job. I thought he's trying to cuss more and bring more sauce to it, on purpose, to the point where maybe it was over the top. But he plays the Punisher well in this movie. His and Spider-Man's their friendship, their connection, their banter seems real. It seems earned. There is nothing else in this movie that seems forced. Bernthal, I like him. There's a great scene towards the end with those two. Zendaya and Tom Holland, they should have great chemistry, right? Because they're married. But they've never had chemistry like they have in this. Not in any of the other movies. It's real. The emotion pulling back and forth where... And this is spoilers, so she reads the letter. She finds out what happened. She doesn't remember anything. There's just so much heartbreak there. And but it's so earned. It's so earned, and I absolutely loved it. But y'all, the action, I can't overstate how good the action is in this movie. It's just a step above. We don't have all of that nonsense Marvel undercutting the moment with jokes and all of that. We don't have that anymore. We don't have it anymore. So that is nice. You get to live through these moments. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey was phenomenal in this. Great scenes with her and Tom Holland. Great weight to it. All the other character cameos. It doesn't feel overstuffed. It feels realistic the way it's in there. You have Mark Ruffalo kept to a minimum because when he's in there, he's mostly Hulk, which is the way I prefer him because he's annoying. And I don't know, like y'all, I was really taken aback at how much I liked it, because I really liked No Way Home, with the other Spidey cameos in there and how that came together. I really like that movie so much, and this might be better. It's definitely the three best Spider-Man movies ever made are Spider-Man 2 and then these last two Spider-Mans, and this one could move up. It could move up, but I can't recommend going to see it enough. If you can get a ticket. We had a hard time there's two theaters within a mile and a half, 2 miles of my house, 50 some odd showings combined over their 4 screens in each theater today, and they were all sold out. Okay, every single bit of it. And that is a huge thing. Go see this movie. We want stuff that's real, that has better CGI, better practical action, better acting, real weight to it, not just the stupid undercutting of everything real and serious. These are the kind of hero stories that we want to watch. This is what we want to watch, and Spider-Man gave it to us. So go and give him your money and swing into the theaters and see it. 8.5, 9 out of 10 with a chance to move up another half point for me. It's that good. I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. I'm going to say, all right, so that is it. Go see the movie. Let me know what you think if you've seen it. Let me know if you like the reviews. I still got some fresh popcorn. I wish I could watch it again. Right now, I wish I could watch it again. I liked it that much. But that's what I got for you this time. Like, subscribe, hype up this video. That helps me out so much. Look for some big videos coming this weekend and beyond as we ramp towards spooky season here on this channel. Lots coming, and man, I'm just hyped. Go see this movie. And until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.